Hello, we have come to the end of another Women's Prize season, and what a journey it's been. I've read and discovered so many great books that I probably wouldn't have got around to reading if this award hadn't highlighted them. So I'm really grateful for that and for all the discussion we've had over the past few months about all of these great books and all of the different points of view that everybody brings to them. I feel very lucky that I've been invited to the award ceremony, and so I'm wearing a new top for the occasion, but very sadly the weather forecast is very bad for this evening, and because the ceremony is held in a square, a beautiful outdoor square here in London, it's gonna make it a bit tricky. There'll be tents and stuff, I'm sure, but yeah, it'll just be a bit more huddled under the tents rather than walking out in this like beautiful London square in Bloomsbury. But even though the weather might be a bit cool, I am determined to wear this short sleeve top because I spent a lot more money on it than I normally do on tops. But when I saw it in the shop, I thought this will be perfect for the Women's Prize party. So I'm going to bring you along and film what I can of the party and the ceremony to give you a flavor for the atmosphere of this wonderful celebration of books, because that's what it really is, and give my reaction to the winner. Now, who is going to win out of these 6 books? Because of course there's 2 different categories of fiction and non-fiction. Now, Anna and I, my friend Anna, and I had a very long discussion about all of these books recently, which I'll link below if you want to know more of my detailed thoughts about all of them. But I think, well, I'm hoping that Enter Ghost will win the award, but I'm more likely to think of Anna's point of view of Brotherless Night will probably take the prize. But honestly, I think all of these books are very good in their own way, and I won't be mad if any of them win the award. Well, maybe I'll be mad if Restless, Dolly, Maunder wins the award. Not that it's a bad book. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I just don't think it's quite like up to the other books on this shortlist. Now, there is the non-fiction books as well. And it'll be really interesting to see which of these books wins the award. I've read 4 out of the 6 of them. I've been meaning to get to the other 2 and just haven't had time yet. But I want a flat place to win, because personally just this book like affected me so much, and but I think probably Doppelganger is more likely to win. But again, out of the books I've read, they're all very worthy, really excellent reads, and so fascinating. I know some readers have enjoyed the nonfiction list more than the fiction list, which is really interesting. And actually my husband is currently reading A Flat Place at the moment, so I had to go find this from his reading place, and that's why there's a bookmark in it, but I know he's really enjoying it as well. So I'm going to go along to the party. We'll see who wins, but overall I think it's just going to be a really lovely celebration. So I'm waiting for my train. At the last minute, I decided to put on a suit jacket because I saw one of the publishers went to a Women's Prize outdoor event last night and said it was so cold just wearing a short sleeve shirt. So I put this on. I don't know if it really goes with my shirt. I'm not really good at fashion or coordinating, but yeah, hopefully at least it'll keep me a bit warm. And I've got my trusty brolly with me because the weather forecast says it is going to start raining any minute now. I'm stopping here just outside the British Library to have a quick sandwich on my way to the party, just to line my stomach a bit in case I have a few glasses of alcohol. And it is starting to drizzle a bit, so I think I should find an awning to eat this under. Sometimes I come across these beautiful crescent neighborhoods in the center of the city and think, oh, I wish I had enough money to live here. Even though it's starting to rain a little bit more, I cannot resist stopping to make my annual pilgrimage and homage to the Virginia Woolf statue, one of my favorite authors of all time. Hi Virginia, how are you doing? Now normally I would ask Virginia her prediction for who she thinks is going to win this evening, but because at the end of last year I reread yet again my favorite novel of all time, I just want to say how much I love Virginia Woolf's novel, The Waves. I think it is one of the most brilliant and beautiful works of art of all time, and if you have not read it, I would highly encourage you to read that and just ignore the motorcycle going by. And also, it's really lovely to see somebody has left some flowers here to pay tribute to Virginia Woolf, so that is beautiful. And I would love in a way to stay here all evening and have an umbrella over Virginia Woolf to shelter her from the rain, but like Mrs. Dalloway, I'm on my way to the party. So I've made it here to the party. I've got a glass of bubbly, and you can see right behind me here the award, the Bessie, which is going to be given to one of the fiction shortlisted authors tonight.
I don't need walk-on music, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody, look at you all, and finally, it rained on the Women's Prize. But we're still going to have a brilliant evening. Welcome to the 29th Women's Prize for Fiction. And the very first Women's Prize for Non-Fiction. Oh, well done. You are such a good crowd. We're here to celebrate, as you know, 12 beautiful, ambitious, glorious books on our 2 shortlists, and the wider work of the Women's Prize Trust. And I can't begin to say how strange this is, that you've stopped talking. Because normally, as you know, I deliver this bit of the speech in a shout. So thank you for that. I am very, very grateful. So it has been a joy to launch the Sister Prize, the Women's Prize for Non-Fiction. Although I won't deny it has been quite a lot of work. But it's been worth it. It's been absolutely worth it. Now, the idea of the Women's Prize for Non-Fiction, as many of you will know, it was partly inspired by research showing how narrative non-fiction by women was still treated very differently from narrative non-fiction written by men. And what we discovered was that there was a lot less review space, so only about 25% of non-fiction reviews were works by women. And when you took out health and childcare from that, it plummeted down. There was much less shelf space in bookshops. There were sometimes lower advances. And there was also a kind of seminal moment, which seems quite appropriate to share at this stage, which was that there was going to be a new unelected Prime Minister of the country. It was either got the politics in early. It was either going to be Liz Truss or Rishi Sunak, and you will all remember that. And if we could only forget. But anyway, you will all remember that. And a very reputable paper did a reading list for both of those potential prime ministers, one a woman, one a man. And there wasn't a single book by a woman on either list. Exactly. Boom. It is cold enough to be pantomime season. Who wants to say behind you? Go on, just so we decided that we would set up a sister prize, and that would be trying to do the same thing, to simply say that a brilliant book can be written by anybody who has that skill, that craft, that aptitude, that brilliance, and it is for everybody, men, women, everybody. And that's what we're trying to do with the sister prize. There should be, and there is, no limit on what a woman can or should write. we're all writers. Yes. We haven't got enough time for all this. I'm getting really done on. So the Women's Prize for, both the prizes, as you know, it has never been about taking men out. Look at you, you're gorgeous. Here you all up. But it is about putting women in where they belong. And just starting to think of literature as literature, whoever has written it. Welcome to the stage, the chair of the 2024 Women's Prize for Non-Fiction judging panel, Professor Susanna Lipscomb.
Hello everyone. Well, it has been a weighty joy to be chair of the judging panel for the inaugural Women's Prize for Non-Fiction. I want to thank the board for having the courage and impetus to create this important prize. And I want to thank particularly Kate Moss. This interventionist goddess spearheaded it. She's created this wonderful thing, and with the Women's Prize for Fiction and now the Women's Prize for Non-Fiction, she continues to be this wellspring, renewing it each year. Thank you, Kate. But today I want to tell you about 6 superlative books that made our shortlist. They are Thunderclap, a memoir of art, life and sudden death by Laura Cumming. This considers the extraordinary 17th century Dutch artist Karel Fabricius, Laura Cumming's artist father James, and all the ways we see, and we chose it for its exquisite prose, for its originality and for its great-hearted intelligence. Doppelganger, a trip into the mirror world by Naomi Klein. This is a book about doubling, from our digital doubles to society's fascist doubles, which seem to edge ever closer. We chose it because it's whip-smart, funny, highly original and trenchant. A Flat Place, a memoir by Noreen Masud. This is a memoir travelogue that meditates on flat places as both memory and metaphor. We chose it because of its beautiful prose, and that it offers something utterly unique that is haunting and evocative. All That She Carried, the journey of Ashley's sack, a black family keepsake by Tiya. Excavating the lives of an enslaved mother and daughter through a material artifact. We chose All That She Carried for its tender sensitivity, its deep research, and its measured lyrical prose. Codependent, Living in the Shadow of AI by Madhumita Murgia. This examines the marginalized humans whose intelligence underpins artificial intelligence. We chose it because it's astute and gripping and deeply important. And How to Say Babylon, a Jamaican memoir by Safiya Sinclair, tells the story of growing up in a Rastafari family in Jamaica and how words gave her freedom. And we chose it because it's an unforgettable, poignant and revelatory story told in prose like poetry. I'd like to invite all 6 of these talented authors to join me on the stage.
Laura Cumming, Thunderclap. Naomi Klein, Doppelganger. Noreen, A Flat Place. Tiya, All That She Carried. Madhumita, Codependent. Sinclair, How to Say Babylon.
Welcome the chair of the 2024 judging panel for the Women's Prize for Fiction, Monica Ali.
Hello everyone. What an exciting evening. I'm so excited that my Fitbit has been buzzing. Standing in my vigorous exercise. So I've really got to calm down. It's been an incredible experience and a great honour to chair this year's Fiction Prize. It's taken over my life in a really good way. I and my fellow judges have been totally immersed in reading brilliant books by brilliant women, and I want to thank my co-judges, Aube, Laura Dockrell, Indira Varma and Anna Whitehouse for all the meaty conversations. It's been so great to work with fellow bibliophiles. I'm so going to miss that now. We came up with a long list of 16 books, and I think that they really reflect the depth and the breadth of the way that women are choosing to engage with the world right now in their writing at this moment. Then we had the onerous task of getting it down to just 6 titles. That was not easy at all, but we are delighted with the shortlist, and those are in alphabetical order by author: The Wren by Enright, we chose it for its scalpel sharp prose, the beautiful imagery, the exquisite rendering of characters and relationships. And Brotherless Night by Ganeshananthan. It's a stirring, deeply moving novel. It's a spellbinding piece of storytelling. Restless Dolly Maunder by Grenville. It's absolutely transporting. It takes you to another time and place, and all of us judges just fell in love with Dolly. Enter Ghost by Isabella Hammad. It's an incredibly accomplished, deeply layered, nuanced book. It's simply a terrific achievement. Soldier Sailor by Kilroy. We chose it because it's raw and funny and angry. It provokes a huge range of emotions in the reader, and we were simply blown away by it. River East, River West by Aube Lescure. It's a version of the usual immigrant story. It's original, it's funny, it's sometimes heartbreaking too, and it's a real page turner. So go out, read all of them. They are all exceptional, I promise you. And now let's get the authors onto the stage and show them some Women's Pride love.
And Enright, the Wren. Brotherless Night. Isabella, Hammad, Enter Ghost. Kilroy, Soldier Sailor. Lescure, River East, River West. And Grenville, who cannot be with us tonight, the Restless Dolly Maunder.
So we will announce the Women's Prize for Non-Fiction first, and then the Women's Prize for Fiction. Susie.
Sweetie. 6 wonderful books. But the winner of the 2024 Women's Prize for Non-Fiction, the inaugural winner, is Doppelganger.
All of this is for women's books. We don't have anything like this in North America, by the way. This is so beautiful. I want to thank everybody at the Women's Prize Trust for this extraordinary honor and evening. Kate Moss, Claire Shanahan, thank you so much, and your whole team, everyone we have met, for the way you honor our work and women's work generally. Thank you for welcoming me into this extraordinary literary sisterhood. You have already honored so many of my absolutely favorite writers in the world, my personal heroes, with the Fiction Prize and shortlists. I can't quite believe that I get to be part of inaugurating this non-fiction prize. It truly is my honor. I want to pay tribute to the amazing shortlist that I got to be a part of. I've just been immersed in these books and loving these women: Safiya, Madhumita, Noreen, Laura, Tiya. I've just been struck by the ways our books are so different, but they're all playing with genre in different ways. But I've also been struck by the fact, by all of your commitment to examining the shadowlands of our world, the shadowlands of our economy, of our shared history, our families, our psyches. You all do this, and it is such an honor to be part of anything with all of you. Thank you. I also want to thank my mother. I got to be raised by a feminist mom, a documentary filmmaker, Klein. I wouldn't be here without you, Mom, if you're listening to the stream. And I even have a feminist mother-in-law, and who is a brilliant writer, Michelle Landsberg, who raised a feminist son, Aube Lewis, my incredible partner in all things. Aube, I love you. Our son Toma, who I really owe the biggest thank you to because it's his 12th birthday.
Happy birthday!
And he willingly shared his birthday with all of you. So I have this incredible publishing team at Allen Lane. This is a different kind of book for me. It's my 9th book, but it's really a departure. And it's much more personal, it's a little bit stranger, and I received nothing but excitement and encouragement from my editor, Tom Penn, from Stefan McGrath, the boss, from Karina Ramonti, and I'm just backed up by this amazing team, Ingrid, T, Julie. I just love you all. My agent's not here, Kimberly Witherspoon. I adore you. Jackie Joyner, Kendra Jewell, Harriet Clark, so many women. I just also want to share that last night when I left the wonderful festival that we had here, floating home, I went online, I still do that, and discovered that someone had been going around London angrily tearing down posters with my face on it, promoting the book. And the weird thing is, I didn't know what had angered them. I didn't know if it was what I had written about vaccine misinformation, what I had written about Zionism, what I had written about climate change and fossil-free books, which it just goes to show that the Women's Prize in NonFiction is not shying away from controversy. So I want to thank you for that, sincerely. Honestly, it isn't true of enough of our cultural institutions right now. So I want to honor you for that. I wrote Doppelganger out of a place of profound speechlessness. Deep in the pandemic, as the crisis we call normal began to heave back to life, I found I had lost faith in words, at least in the way I used to use them. Thesis, evidence, argument, more evidence, conclusion. I couldn't bring myself to write in a way that put that much faith in human reason. I needed to find a form that mirrored my internal vertigo. The figure of the double provided that form. It brought me into a deep reckoning with my personal brand, with my Jewish double, with the Holocaust as a twin of European imperialism, with Israel and Palestine as a doppelganger culture. The book ends in Gaza. It came out less than a month before October 7th. The past 7 months, I have been unable to focus on anything but the horrors in Gaza. And I no longer have any doubt about the power of words, either their power to harm or to help liberate. We know that words must matter because so many forces are working overtime to make them unsayable and unprintable. Jobs are lost, careers are ruined, reputations smeared, organizations banned, all over words. Words like apartheid, occupation, settler colonialism, anti-Zionism, genocide. This we might think of as the word front of the war, though it does not bear comparison with the missile and bomb front. I still don't think there are any bystanders. I think we either come together to defend the right to speak freely, even when we disagree, or that right will be lost. In Gaza, poets, scholars, novelists, and journalists have risked everything, including their lives, to share their words with the world. The least we can do is listen. Thank you for this honor.
The chair of the 2024 panel of judges for fiction, Monica Ali, to announce their winner.
The winner, the 2024 Women's Prize for Fiction, is Brotherless Night.
Yesterday I was up here and I Midwest swaggered and was like, I'm from the Midwest and it's cold there, and this is not cold, and the reality of karma's. It's so lovely to be here with all of you, and wow, what a community, what an incredible space for readers. I'm Ganeshananthan, also known as Sudi. And this was already such an amazing experience, and to hold the Bessie is completely wild. So I'd like to echo the thanks to the Women's Prize organization, which is so incredible, the judges and my fellow shortlisted authors. It's just a huge joy to be in the company of these brilliant minds, and hearing you all read yesterday was incredible. If those of you who were here, I'm sure, know what I mean. I got the feeling that I have at the very best readings when I want both to stay exactly where I am forever because I'm completely transfixed, and also to rush back to my own desk and start writing again so that I can be in conversation with what I've just heard. It was just totally electrifying, and I'm so grateful to be part of that conversation and to write to and about and for women's unapologetic, relentless, ferocious intelligence has been such a privilege. And to write with women, to write with other women writers, and to write in this incredible space of readers who appreciate women writers is just, that's one of the things that makes it possible. So thank you so much for this space and for seeing and hearing me too. I want to thank my wonderful, generous, warm team in Viking. There you are. Especially my editor, Isabella Wall, who has supported this book in every step. Isabel! Those of you who are whooping, get me. And Chloe Davies and Juliette Dudley, Olatoye Oladini, and really just everyone at Viking who has put this book out in a way that I couldn't even have imagined. And I'm also so grateful for my agent of 20 years, Stephanie Cabot, might be longer actually, who waited and waited and waited and waited and waited for this book, and remained my agent and waited some more, and has been its fiercest champion. I have known Rebecca Shapiro, Becca, one of my oldest friends, since I was 5, and to read with her for essentially my entire life really shaped my loves and interests in the best ways. And that she is the person who acquired my novels at Random House in the US meant the world to me. I also want to thank my current amazing editor at Random House, Caitlin McKenna, whose wise counsel and support brought me to the finish line at long last. I started this book in 2004. In the US, this novel can vote. So thank you so much to everyone who told me that someday I would finish, which really was meant a lot to me. And I want to thank my colleagues and my students from whom I've learned so much. I have some chronic hand injuries that limit my typing, and a fair amount of this book was written via voice recognition and dictation. I'm going to read Codependent and think very carefully about that. Mixed feelings. I also want to thank the student access assistants who have helped me to type for the past few years. Hannah, Michaela, Maddie. AI doesn't really want to make using long thumbal words easy. My name, it comes out BB gun to shoot at them. So I really couldn't have done it without those students. How would this novel read? I mean, my goodness. I want to thank everyone who helped me with the research for this book, especially the women and doctors and scholars and civilians, the Tamil people who spoke to me and answered my questions about it during this time period, which is the first decade, approximately, of the Sri Lankan Civil War. I wanted to write a book in solidarity with civilians who had been trapped in war and in violence, and you made that real and possible by allowing me to learn about your experiences and sometimes even reading my drafts and telling me what I had gotten wrong, and then also telling me that you wanted to read the next chapter. In this era of brutality that has affected civilians not only in Sri Lanka, but also in Palestine, Sudan, Ukraine, and so many other places, more than I can name and more than I know, I want to note the number of precedents and that each one makes the next possible. I hope the good work of telling these stories makes it necessary and possible to tell different stories about collective liberation, freedom with justice, and security for all. I'm luckier than I can say to have been supported by brilliant Sri Lankans, both in Sri Lanka and in the diaspora. I want to name University Teachers for Human Rights Jaffna and the late Rajini Dharanagama, as well as her family. They have been among my best models of how to write and think rigorously and humanely. Sharika and Narmada, and of course Nirmala, who went above and beyond to record the audiobook. Thank you. I also want to thank my family, and I really mean my whole family, which is globe scattered. I want to thank especially my parents, my brother and his family. I'd like to thank my brother for every brotherless night joke he has made. He really has quite the arsenal. I'm so grateful to have my brother and his family, my wonderful husband Travis, and my stepdaughters Amy and Philly. This is a huge honor, and thank you so much.
Right, we have, would you like a picture of the two winners together? Yes! Drink at the bar, do some dancing, there will be music, and I'll see you back here, same place, same time, with the sun, 2025.
And there we have it, the winners of both the Women's Prize for Fiction and the very first Women's Prize for Non-Fiction. Very well done, Anna. Anna predicted that Brotherless Night would win, and yeah, so I thought, yeah, your reasoning was very rational and made a lot of sense.
Sometimes one has to be pragmatic, but and also I love the book.
Yeah.
I love being right. I'm mad no one would let me bet on it. I did try to put a bet on, and none of the they were like,
you could have been rich.
I know. I never put more than £10 on anything, but no one gave me odds. But I'm very, very happy.
Yeah, really great to see her win.
It's a great book.
Yeah, excellent. Really moving and emotional, and just so involving. Like, yeah, a real page turner.
And I think a book that really strikes a nice balance is a winner of. Really, it's a very, very good book. But also it's a book that people will be able to go and pick up and get a lot from. Like, I think I'm trying to avoid saying accessible but I think it's a great winner. It's a really good winner that a lot of people will get something from. Yeah,
because it's about like family and how families are divided, and but really great speech as well to see from both her and Naomi Klein.
Naomi Klein's speech was excellent.
Yeah. And I mean, I also predicted that.
Well done. Between us, we just smashed it, basically.
We did, yeah. I mean, we really should have been judging. So.
Yeah.
But I feel like the winners of the prize aren't usually this like overtly political. I mean, in some of the substance of these stories and how they like engage with these things. But at the same time, it's also just really great storytelling, and they're so well crafted, such great characterization and plot and so
And I
and all of
think,
that.
the way of the world means that probably will get more pronounced if the world stays. I don't think it's necessarily a surprise that books and winners tilt more towards a more overtly political perspective.
And speaking, about what's happening in the world, absolutely.
We are hiding from the rain, though.
Yeah, it is like it had stopped, but now it's just starting again. So we're
My hair
like
is expanding in size
sheltering
by
under
every
a
minute.
tree. Yeah, and I don't want this shirt to go transparent because that would make me very self-conscious. Don't think anybody wants that. But yeah, thank you for following along this year with the prize.
We've had fun.
Yeah, it's been so great reading along and discussing all the books with you and getting everybody's opinion. So do let us know below what you think of the winners and of the prize. And if you have any predictions for next
see you
year.
next year.
Yeah. Any books that you think of? Like,
all I've read is this year's prize. I feel like I haven't even moved. I'm like, what have I even read that came out? Do you know what? I'm about to read The Modern Fairies by Claire Pollard, which I haven't read yet, but I have high expectations for. But,
okay. And I'm currently reading a novel called This Strange Eventful History, which is so good. It's a family story that follows through from World War II to up until closer to the present time, and it's just so well written, so fascinating, traverses the world, and so I think we're likely to see that on the list next year. So we will see.
We will see you then.
And there we have it, another year of the Women's Prize concluded. So I'm on my way to get the bus home, and I've stopped here at a big stone lion at the back of the British Museum because I thought this would be a fun place to show you the Women's Prize goodie bag that I just got, and to have a look inside with all the lists of the winners down the side. Yes, I have had a few glasses of wine, but going to get the bus and want to show you to pick out what is in this goodie bag. Let's see. Pick it up. Oh, yay! There's a copy of A Flat Place. So I'll be sure to give this copy to a good friend to read this tremendous book and memoir. And what else is in the bag? There's a Bailey's chocolate bar. So I'll scarf that down on the way home. It's been such a lovely party. I got to meet the author Monique Roffey, who's writing I really admire. She wrote The Mermaid of Black Conch, which is such a tremendous novel, and she has a new novel out very soon. And I also got to meet for the very first time the author Jill Dawson, who I was a co-judge with for the first novel category of the Costa Book Awards a few years ago. So that was really lovely. She has a new novel coming out too called Pixie. I'm not sure when that's out. I think later this year or early next year. But so many great conversations and had lots of lovely book chat with people. So this has been a really wonderful occasion, just a great celebration of books. It's not really about winners or losers, but I'd love to know what you think about the results of this year's prize, both in the fiction and non-fiction category. Thank you for reading and discussing all of the books with me and Anna, and following all of our conversations about them. I hope you have a good evening, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye-bye.